Ladies and gentlemen, hello everybody, delighted to be. Hello Bruno, we're delighted to be here in the Pavillon Chamont-Capucine. And thousands of you are in front of your TV screens at the moment for the presentation of the 2015 Endurance Year. Who will be racing in the European Le Mans Series and in the World Endurance Championship, and what teams will be at the start of this year's Le Mans 24 Hours. You're all impatient, and we share it with you. And for a reply to all these questions, we are going to invite onto the stage Pierre Fillon, who has brought us all together in this building. Bonjour. Hello, President. Let's have a little look back at 2014 with the introduction of the new technical regulations. Has it met your expectations? In the name of the ACO, I'm really delighted to welcome you all here in this fantastic room. We won't talk about 2014 for too long, but 2014 was a great race. And from 2014, it was the year of the new regulations, which led to a lot of discussions. We had three aims: to allow the manufacturers to use different technologies. We had three last year, three manufacturers, three different technologies to answer all the needs of sustainable development. And we asked for a reduction of 30% in fuel consumption. And Audi won Le Mans with around 25–30% fuel less. And of course, the ADN or DNA of the Le Mans 24 Hours to test cars that are used by the everyday motorist, and we achieved that aim. And the fourth was that we wanted to cap costs. We didn't want this technology to be too expensive. It wasn't fulfilled in 2014, but in 2015, a working group has been set up with some very concrete proposals that we can adapt this year to cap costs. So we're in 2015, and we'd like to talk about the endurance pyramid, which is very dear to your heart, very dear to the ACO heart, and me too with the FIA. But this pyramid, it's base, and we're going to use it in 2015, the LMS. I'm not going to talk about the LMS now. It's continuing to expand, and it's our American friends I'd like to say hello to, because I'm sure they're watching us. The Truly United Sports Car Championship, which began it with a great, very exciting race that most of you probably saw. And above all, the strategic alliance with Jim France, that this alliance is working very well. And we're working on a common prototype proposal in 2017 between the USA and Europe. And I can say to you, and we've almost reached our conclusions. We still have, at Sebring, we'll have another meeting to settle a few details, but this project is a reality. And the Asia Le Mans series got off to a difficult start, but we decided to take it over. So the ACO is taking it over completely, and I'll give you a scoop immediately. In 2015 will be a transition year. We have a devoted team that's going to look after the Asian Le Mans Series, and there will be three races this year. Two in the context of the WEC, Fugey on 31st of October, and there will be a big final 19-20 December at Sepang, and it'll be a longer race. It will be the final of 2015. And 2016 will have at least 5 races. A new boost to the Asian Le Mans Series. So we're going to But obviously, we have a lot of things to say to it. The ACO is the common denominator of all these news, and I would like the person who is the boss of the WEC and the ELMS, Gérard Nerveux, to come and join us on the stage. Hello, Gérard. How are you? So, sit down. Ganel, there's a lot of news that we have to tell you. Tell us, how is the beginning of the season looking? It's as if we were starting the engine today, but the reality is a bit different. Like all competitors, the season started after the final race of last year, and all the teams in these two championships that we'll have the pleasure of running with President Pierre Fillon, and the ACO that looks after the promotion of these two major championships, and also the LMA that looks after this, the people who are involved in the WEC. A total of 150 people together for the WEC and the ELMS, and we've been working very hard since December to try and propose our entrance the best possible platform, that two championships which we can't wait to see starting. And us too is the same thing. We would like to see the cars racing. And let's have a look at the European Le Mans Series ambience with images and sound.
Among European Endurance Racing Series. 5 races visiting top circuits. Silverstone, UK. Imola, Italy. Red Bull Ring, Austria. Le Castellet, France. And Estoril, Portugal. 4 categories, including LMP2, LMP3, GTE, GTC, and for the champions at the end of the season, direct access to Le Mans 24 hours. Paddock, pit and grid walk, fans, ELMS, a top European Continental Championship. Be a part of the unique ELMS atmosphere. Races, action, passion, emotion, battling, checkered flag, podium, and celebration. European Le Mans Series, the spirit of Le Mans all over Europe.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen, for the European Le Mans Series. And it is the moment to unveil the field for 2015. And here they come. D'abord, les GTC, qui will be present this year on the LMS grid. 6 cars. BMW, TDS Racing, number 59. 2 AF Corse, Ferrari 61, 62, and 2 more, 63, 64. A total of 4 Ferraris, and Motorsport Danish teams Aston Martin. A total of 6 cars in GTC. Go on to the LMGTE with a great field of 9 cars. Once again, present, of course, with 2 Ferraris, BMW from Marc VDS. We're delighted to have them in the ALMS. Belarusian team Ferrari, another Ferrari, of course, same. Formula Racing, a Danish team with the Ferrari. JMW Motorsport with another Ferrari. Gulf Racing UK with a Porsche, number 86, number 88, a Proton competition, Christian Reed. a total of 9 GTEs, and it looks like being a great scrap again this year. And a new category in ELMS, the LMP3, and the great surprise, there'll be 7 cars from the start of the season. So we'll have two Genettas, Villa Corsena GTS, the University of Bolton, number 7, Lan Racing, another English team with a Genetta, and SBS is factory, a Lithuanian team with a Genetta, and Roll Center Racing, Martin Short within a Genetta. 7 LMP3s at the start of the season, and we're going to stay with the prototypes in the LM with the top category in LMS, 12 cars, better than last year. Portuguese team Algarve Power Racing, GS Ligier Just Pour Deux, 2 SMP Racer. The new Russian cars, Pegasus Racing, no Morgan Nissan, Eurasia Motorsport with an Orica 03R Nissan engine. Tracing Crone will be racing and Greaves 2 will be back, a pillar of the endurance in LMS Run. And finally, the return of Ibanez Racing from Spain with 2 Orecas. And then Tierra by Tiers Racing will be there with a Oreca and Irish team Murphy prototypes with an Oreca 03R. A total of 12 LMP2s for a total of 34 cars. With a clarification, is the 34 cars entered at the beginning of the season, and we know others will be arriving race after race, as well as some new LMP3s and a few other competitors who will also join the ELMS. What really surprised us, Pierre Fillon, is the number of LMP3s, a car that you launched in July 2014, and already we have 7 cars in the ELMS, which is a big source of satisfaction for you. Yes, indeed. This category that the ACO sees as the first step on the road to Le Mans, which is open to gentlemen drivers and private teams to learn about endurance. 7 cars. When we announced the launch of this category in July, it looks very, very good for the future of this category. In 2015, there will be a reinforcement of web coverage. There was a lot of work done on TV broadcasting. There's an even greater interest in the ELMS because of the incredible show that this entrance put on last year. We're expecting the same thing in 2015, and those that are distributing the ELMS have made a big effort, and the ACO has invested even more. We have to satisfy our fans, so there will be more TV coverage and better TV cameras with onboard cameras, and also a completely new website launched at the first race at Silverstone, a very modern site for live streaming during the race. And that's concerning Europe. And now we're going to widen our horizons a bit, and we're going to look at things from a worldwide point of view. So what about the FIA World Endurance Championship in 2005? The World Endurance Championship is the show window of the Le Mans 24 Hours, of this fantastic and magical, because it cannot be imitated, and we try to carry its values throughout the world and the continents interested in endurance. The values and the spirit of Tour de France, it reminds us the importance of these values, the spirit of the Endurance World Championship.
In my world, I'm never alone.
is a different way to experience motorsport. In my world, the environment and the future of our planet matter. In my world, we are working towards a better future for the next generation. In my world, there is no I. There is only we, or us. We don't just talk about sharing. In my world, we don't have enemies, only rivals. In my world, our dreams become reality.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to your world, the World Endurance Championship. Welcome to the WEC. FIA WEC, the 2015 World Endurance Championship. 8 races on 4 continents. The 6 hours of Silverstone. WEC 6 hours of Spa.
The leading pair getting away just a little bit.
The premium world event, les 24 Heures du Mans. The 6 hours of Nürburgring. The Lone Star Le Mans event at Austin. The 6 hours of Fuji. The 6 hours of Shanghai. The 6 hours of Bahrain. LMP1, LMP2, GTE Pro, and GTE N. Top manufacturers and top teams. Driver champions and heroes. All of them are ready. What about you? If you want to know who will be the world champion in 2015, stay with us and follow the FIA WEC.
C'est très
It's very, very strong. It's the magic of the Endurance World Championship. President Fillon, you would like to associate one of your guests to the presentation of the field for 2015, and it's today representation of the FIA, Lindsay Owen-Jones, who I'd ask to come and join us here soon. Lindsay Owen-Jones, the president of the FIA Endurance Commission. Hello, everybody. Delighted to hear. We can look at some images. Sebring 3 years ago, which was the launch of the World Endurance Championship, and 3 years afterwards, we couldn't have imagined that we'd have reached such a high level as we do now, because you were convinced of the success of the World Endurance Championship. Everybody knows that I'm involved. I adore endurance, and since the first day when I accepted this role, I've tried to share this passion with anybody who wanted to listen to me, and it's true, and I had an idea that it could develop. I was aware that the historic agreement between the ACO and the FIA opened up a new perspective for endurance worldwide, and I accepted the mission for this reason. But I must acknowledge that even in my passion, that it would become what it has, with so many manufacturers present, with so much energy, so much enthusiasm. So I'm very moved to see that. Well, let's have a look at the role of the FIA Endurance Commission. What is it? The role of the Endurance Commission, it has three roles. It does the regulations, the sporting and technical regulations, which may be pretty boring, but all sports need them. But the reality it is, the rules play a very important role in the development of a branch of the sport. Whether you do technical regulations that attract manufacturers, which excite journalists and spectators, we can contribute to developing a discipline. And if we don't, a single decision can cause doubt about the honesty or the fair play or the sincerity of a championship. So it's fair. It's very important to do fair regulation, but we do it with the people nominated by the ACO, the FIA, and independent experts. And the idea is to try and keep peace, but when we know in other aspects of motorsport, people spend their time insulting one another throughout the media, criticizing the championship, calling into question the people in charge. When we, with very important people like the FIA and the ASO, we know since the beginning that they have to work well together to see that that works, and I've been witness to this. And I'm only grateful to Pierre for this and to Jean-Todt too, but I also, but we can't have four major manufacturers which represent big, powerful companies with strong people with strong personality, but they have opinions that are not always the same, and we in the Commission have to find a way of canalizing, of working together in a positive way for the championship. I can't thank them enough for their role. I think that we are looking to have participants for whom the championship is more important than anything else. And I think we found a way of working together. And in a certain state of calm, despite the strong personalities and GTE continues and people in LMP2, there are a lot of people, and that has to find a way for the overall good of this branch of the sport to work together in harmony and good humor, and that's what we try to do. Thank you very much, Lynn Joranger, and bravo for the work of the FIA Endurance Commission. But we're going to unveil the entrance for the 2015 WEC. So who will succeed to the 31 cars that we had in 2014? How many in 2015? In LMGTE, we have 7 cars. With him, only one driver has been named so far. Corvette is back with Light-de-Conte and Labre competition. The Ferrari for SMP Racing. Pentry Dempsey back again, Pro-10 Racing, which is pleasure for a lot of our fans, in a Porsche, in 911 Porsche. A, of course, we tried to replace Tom Christensen, Perrodo with a Ferrari. The 911 Porsche of Christian in the Aberdeen, and of course the 2 Aston Martin, the Vantage V8s, who will be on the LMGTE grid for 7 cars: Ferrari, Porsche, Aston, and Corvette. In LMGTE Pro, another 7 cars. 2 Ferraris from A, of course, Jamarbil, the 2 Mante Porsches, the Works Porsches, the 2 Works Aston Martins, and there will be a 3rd Aston Martin, which will be in this category. So there will be 7 LMGTE Pros, another great fight in perspective. So we go on to the prototype LMP2 with 10 cars, which we are delighted about. And it's great car, G-Drive Racing with 2 cars, with 2 Ligier JSP2s, which are title contenders. extreme speed motorsport with the HB Day, with Honda, in fact, coming back, and Oak Racing with Jack Nicolay back again, with the JSP2. Signatech is coming into the World Championship with Alpine, and the said Moron team with Signatech, which are great partners, has moved up to the next level, and Strucker Racing is finally going to race this year, and KCMG's Chinese teams, Oreca, 12 LMP2s, and cars more competitive that one than the next. And now the LMP1 field, where we will have 11 cars. There are 4 manufacturers fighting for the title: Audi, Porsche, Nissan, Toyota, no one, 2, private LMP1 team by colors, the 2 Audis, which won them all last year, the 2 Rebellion racing cars, which have changed engine, which they will not probably miss the first round of the season, the 2 Works Porsches, which are very ambitious, and of course the Nissan Motorsport GTR LM, the 2 Works Nissans, a total of LM cars. So we'll have total of 35 cars on the grid for the first time this year. And we can imagine all you have seen this are completely, utterly astounded by this field. It's an absolute record. So Lindsay Owen-Jones, there's a remarkable quality in GTE, in which 3 manufacturers are officially involved. It's one thing. We could not have accepted any more cars. So GT is really going very well, is really looking up. Ford has already announced their return to Le Mans, but not the WEC officially, but I think Gerald will be able to convince them to come back. Mr. Few, if GTE has got a great future ahead of it, we can see there's a very high level of quality in LMP2, and there were certain last year who neglected it, and this year it's really gathered momentum. We were disappointed last year, but we are delighted to see 10 cars in LMP2 this year in the WEC. Probably we need a little bit of time, and we'd also like to congratulate the work of the constructors. We have Oreca, we have Ligier, we have HPD, and we have Zytec, and they've all done a lot of work to bring out very appealing cars, and the result is that we have 10 cars in the WEC. Nissan is coming in 2015, and it's really got people talking, as we saw the ad broadcast at the Super Bowl. So it's the 4th manufacturer. So you must be very happy about this. And I chose the pertinence of the regulations that we brought in. I think these regulations allows all kinds of different technologies with the same performance, more or less. And you must remember, Silverstone last year, there was less than a second between the car, and I think the regulations are responsible for this. Is very attractive for the manufacturer. There were Audi and Toyota in 2013. Porsche came in 2014, and Nissan is coming in this year, and we can only be happy about it. It's a very diverse field, and it's worthy of a really great world championship. But of course, we never doubted it was a great world championship, Bruno. Lindsay Jones, would you like to say something about the quality of this field? And I would imagine Jean Todt is very satisfied with the overall quality of this field. It's fantastic in terms of number and variety and quality. It's certain. If I take LMP1, we can say nowhere else in the world. in any international, there are 4 cars as different as those in any world championship. And this is unique in motorsport in the field that we have this year, which makes the championship a very exciting one. Gérard, a few more pieces of information to tell us very quickly, because there are other announcements people wait. The championship begins at Silverstone in just over 2 months, with the prologue at the end of March at La Castelli. There will be a big step forward in the championship in terms of communication. The people in Netco here who are helping us all throughout the lap. The application is going to have a lot of interactivity, so the fans can be completely involved in this application. And TV, which is still very important, the first and second screen, we're going to announce some important evolutions in the distribution of the WC images throughout the world. And we're also going to look after the entertainment. We take the model of the Le Mans 24 Hours, and there will be a lot of entertainment for the fan who will spend the weekend. You'll learn a bit more during the month of March. But I'd like to tell you a little anecdote that gives you the idea of the spirits that work in the WEC, the LMS, and the Le Mans 24. We saw the people, Renault Freitas, in the street, and he said to him, I can't do it anymore. That's 4 months now. The race, I'm seeing the races, the drivers, the press, etc., and my wife is delighted that I'm here for the conference, for the press conference. We all have only a single desire to be at the prologue in La Castellet at the end of March to start this magnificent championship. And I'm sure that's the opinion of everybody looking at it. Thank you, Sir Lindsay. You can join your guests in, sir. And we're now going to concentrate on the south. Yes, Canal. We're going we're going to bring on Frederic Lénard, the General Manager of the Automobile Club de l'Ouest. Bonjour, Frederic. Delighted to have you here before revealing the field for the cars chosen by the selection committee. Le Mans, it's a whole festive environment. In a context which attracts people. Le Mans is 50, but it's also 260,000 spectators. We're just starting the communications around the. We're going to show you, I'm delighted to show you, the poster which marks the identity of each one of the Le Mans races. And now we're going to discover it straight away. It's already a collector's item, this remarkable poster. Excuse me. A few words about this poster. A strong reference to innovation, the future in racing. A quick wink to the GTs. We see the Corvette in the background and the logo of the Le Mans 24 Hours at the top. That on the 13th, 14th June is the place to be, the only place to be. And we also have the marking for the cars in the GTE. So what about the near future of the Le Mans 24? So what is the program for this year? I would like to talk about the spectators. This year we have new partnerships with general public media, Auto Plus, of course, VS Day. for it's well known for attachment to human adventure and endurance, science and vie, because it's also innovation and télé-loisirs, and our faithful media, our friends from Auto Hebdo, the regional press, West France, Main Libre, the Nouvelle République, and the Mickey newspaper, which reaches our young fans, and French television and Eurosport will continue to broadcast the course. RTL will be present during the race. So in 2015, we'll speak about Le Mans even more, and that's very important. And this year, it's linked with a charity. You're very keen on this link. We're renewing the partnership with heart surgery, as it rhymes with our values. Le Mans is also a marvelous party. What have you reserved for the spectator for the 83rd race? It's a big popular fit. It's going to be a busy week for our spectator. 3 great new forms of entertainment. Thousands of spectators come, which is called Your First Time at Le Mans, to help them, to guide them, to give them information about the race so that they are immersed in it even more easily, what is happening at the circuit and off the circuit. And there will be a treasure hunt as well. And the second thing, we're going to build a pavilion for women, where women can join up and chat among girls. And for the purists, there will be an exhibition on Jules Tweed Ford and Ferrari in the 60s, and many other things on the 3rd and on 13th and 14th of June. There is a tradition which accompanies each running of the Le Mans 24. The highlighting of a personality, of a person who has done a lot for the Le Mans, and this year we have a great champion who is a Le Mans legend, who has won the race 9 times. He has decided to hang up his helmet, but I'm sure his heart is still at Le Mans, and for us, he will always be at Le Mans. And I'm delighted to tell you that Tom Christensen has accepted to be the Grand Marshal of the 2015 Le Mans 24 Hours. Standing ovation for Tom Christensen. And Tom Christian for everything he's done and what he will continue to do. So after Alan McNeish, the 2015 Grand Marshal will be Tom Christensen from Denmark.
Une édition des 24 heures.
We can't imagine Le Mans 24 Hours without Tom Christensen. Thank you very much, Frederick Lynn. And now the Le Mans 24 Hours is the major event in the world of motorsport. And a quick look at the event before giving you the intro list.
Just the ability to withstand a difficult situation, but also to turn it into glory. William Barclay. Somewhere in France, in La Sarthe, every year for more than 90 years, something special will happen on Saturday, 13th of June at 3 p.m. More than a race, a unique human experience, pushing the limits of what is possible.
It's very exciting to be back here for our 3rd time.
All of them are playing their part in creating the legend. They are more than drivers. They are heroes. A unique atmosphere. An incredible tension.
Tire pressure is 1.75 and 1.6 rear.
3, 2. The best stage in the world for sports car racing. The race to the future. The ultimate quest for performance. The world of high technology. Intensity. Drama. More than just speed. High speed, running up to 300 kilometers per hour. Team spirit and game of strategy. Day, night, every second counts. More than 250,000 fans together celebrating sports car and endurance racing. The only limit is the clock. Battles on track. The absolute race at the heart of motorsport. Champions are made as they cross the finish line. Only the best car and top team can be the winner. After being part of this race, you will never be the same again. The place to be. Le Mans 24 Hours on June 13th and 14th.
And this eagerly awaited moment has just arrived. So the selection committee has taken its decision. So 56 cars to start the Le Mans 24, and we will call the sport manager of the Automobile Company West, Vincent Beaumenil, who is going to talk about it. Hello, Vincent. Hello. Part of the field is already new, but the 35 cars entered in WEC will be entered for the Le Mans 24 Hours, and the points, of course, for this event count double. And can you tell us about the remaining cars? Can you give us the teams? I'm not going to go back to the WEC. The selection committee has a difficult job, has handed down its decision. We can find this list. The first category, LMGTE with 13 cars. Jacques Lecontre. Corvette back in GTM. And of course, there were 3 Ferraris. And then William Sweedler, Scuderia, is a team invited, which took part in the GTE Sports Car Championship last year with a Ferrari. JMW, who were a team that's been faithful to the ELMS for a long time, also Ferrari. 2 invitations from the Asian Le Mans Series, which is one of the interest in racing the ACO Series to win places in the Le Mans. It will enter 2 cars driven by Chinese drivers. And finally, SMP Racing, which will enter a Ferrari. And Patrick Dempson, of course. Protein Racing. Aston Martin Racing with 2 cars in GTM, which are also in the WEC. Here is the list of the GTM with a great fight in this category, with Corvette back in this category, which we're delighted about. GTE Pro with 9 cars. There was an incredible battle last year for the victory last year. The technical teams did a great job on the BOP, the balance of performance. Of course, it was 2 cars. Corvette Racing with 2 cars. Ford announced a new car at Detroit, but not yet for the Le Mans 24 Hours. And then Team Manti, which is the official Porsche team. And of course, in 3 Aston Martins that we've already seen in their entry in the WEC. So that's 9 cars. 9 cars that can all win, which is really exceptional. There will be a really great battle between them because top professional drivers in all cars. LMP2, the highest number of entries in this year's race with 20 cars, which is a great sign. People were a bit worried last year because there were very few cars in the WEC, but it's a category which is really looking up. G-Drive Racing with 2 cars, which is in WEC with the 2 Ligier Nissans, SMP Racing with their new cars and with the BR01. And Pegasus Racing with a Morgan Nissan in the Le Mans 20. With Leo Russell, who really impressed us last year in his first day at Le Mans. Extreme Motorsport in the HPD APX with the HPD with Honda Power. Oak Racing, which is entering 2 Ligiers with Jack Nicholay and Wanko, who is back at the wheel, and Ho Pin Tung from China, which is part of the continuity of Oak's involvement in the Asian Le Mans Series. Signatech back again, and we want to see the logic. The teams with Sean in the ELMS have joined the WEC. Jota Sport, which will defend its title, last year's winner, and Team Surmore, which has 2 cars in the WEC and will be in the Le Mans 24 Hour. Tracy Crone with the Ligier, which we've seen in the ELMS, who came in with the Ferrari at the last minute last year. Grease Motorsport, one of the pillars of our endurance race, will be back with his Zytec renamed Gibson. Nick Leventis with the Strucker Dome, and they have solved last year's technical problems. Ibanez Racing with one of its cars has been taken by the Terry by TDS Racing and its new Eureka 05, also in the ELMS, which won the ELMS 3 years. KCMG, which has also entered in the WEC. This Chinese team has a new Eureka 05. And finally, Murphy Prototypes from Ireland with an Eureka 03R Nissan. And here is the list again of the entries in LMP2 with 20 cars, and all 20 are more or less victory contingent. I don't know how many leadership changes there were last year. There were at least 20. It was a crazy race with very, very tight racing, and we're looking forward to this battle. And LMP won the blue ribbon category, 14 cars this year. A figure which makes us very happy. There was a slight reduction in the number of cars and the arrival of Nissan, and teams have gone up to 3 cars. We're very pleased with the field. Toyota, the reigning champion, with 2 cars. They already announced that. Team by Colors, which is last year's Lotus, which is an LMP one, which is also involved in the WEC, and the 3 Audis with Felipe Albuquerque as the designated driver. Rebellion Racing, which has changed engines for the WEC. 3 Porsches completing the WEC team. The championship regulations allows a team to enter a 3rd car for Le Mans, but only 2 cars will score points. Nico Hulkenberg will have a trip between Canada and the start for the test day. And Nissan, of course, a revolutionary car, which is a great source of pride for us to see the very different technical choices that can be made. And the third car will complete the two cars already in the WEC. With Tignal, Matsuda, and Olivier Plan, we're delighted to see Olivier Plan, Harry Tignal, who were in LMP2 last year, and that shows all the validity of the endurance pyramid that we want to create between the different categories. The reserve cars. It's also a very, very difficult job. We have chosen 7 cars, and a clarification. This year, the selection committee has decided just to create one list of reserve, because before it was 2 lists with protos and GTs, and this year the list and the cars on this list will race in the event depending on withdrawals in their order on the list. The first reserve on the list is Bill Riley's team's Viper, a team we know very well, in Category M, which didn't come to us last year. The KCMG second Oreca with MP Imperator as the drive, Formula Racing, a Danish team in the ELMS, which also has done its apprenticeship in endurance. Gulf Racing, Porsche by Mike Wainwright, the Nissan, and finally Wolf Hensler's Pro-10 competition, the third Porsche of this team, and Ibanez Racing, the second car. Both cars are in the ELMS, and 1 car has been chosen by the selection committee. And that gives us a total of 7 reserves, which have to just wait and see what happens, basically. There you can applaud. It's an exceptional feat. It really is fantastic. I think there we have maybe a historical field that is of historic importance. Pierre Fillon, your first reaction to this? With the good, can we eventually go up to 70 cars? 70 is maybe a bit ambitious, but last year we were thinking about increasing the number of pits. And just we decided to build 4. And to do that, it's going to take a bit more time because they'll need a reorganization of the Parc Fermé and also the paddock, and we can't do it in a few months. This project is underway, and I think very soon we'll have 60 pits, which is a very important piece of information, the fact that there will be 60 pits in the near future. And this will give us an even bigger field at Le Mans every year. There won't be the 56 garage for an innovative car. It's not automatic. It's not automatic. No, it's not automatic. We get entries. We look at the technological entry. It has to correspond to a philosophy, and I think LMP1 today offers a very wide scope. And 56 garage will be the technology of after tomorrow, and we didn't receive any dossier that complied with our aims, but even so, but of course it will be, we would like people to send us in entries for the 56 garage, and of course safety is very important for the Le Mans 24. And I know that every year that you carry out work on the South Circuit. What revamps have been carried out for the 83rd event? It's still going on. It's not finished. It's an awful lot of work. It's a circuit of over 13 kilometers, which isn't a permanent one, so the approach is different. A lot of work is ongoing between Mulsanne and the Porsche corners. We've widened the road. The Porsche corners themselves have been modified. The gravel traps have been increased in size. It's a lot of work, and we have to evolve the slow zones, which we invented last year. It's a basic work. After last year, where we had our first test, we were able to evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of this procedure to develop. So we've increased the number of zones. We have developed a number of processes and more lights. We're going to stage number 2, which is something which is great for safety for the race and will prevent us to bring out deploying the safety cars, which are a big restriction on the race. Thank you, Vincent Bobigny. Thank you very much for your presentation. And to all the lovers of the Le Mans and the people who don't know it, and on the 30th and 4th June, a really exceptional event will take place in the start on 13th, 14th June. Here is the official advertisement for the 2015 Le Mans 24 Hours.
Le futur est dans la course. Rendez-vous les 13 et 14 juin, à partir de 47 €. N'attendez pas.
Voilà pour le spot télé.
And that is the TV ad for this year's Le Mans. It's a great spot, a great ad, and it puts across a very strong message. And we want to thank all these people who are going to come and see all these beautiful cars and the heroes of the drivers who make us all dream. The people from Grand Touring Endurance, David Richards, Aston Martin Racing, and Jacques Leconte is also coming up.
David Richards est en...
Do I speak French or English?
You won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in GTE AM and also the WEC Championship with GTE AM. This year, you have 3 cars in GTE Pro. Does it mean that this is the target?
Well, we're definitely taking it seriously this year. It's going to be a strong entry from Aston Martin, but the competition is also very strong. And the competition at Le Mans last year, where we were fighting right through, I think at 18 hours, we were split within 10 seconds of the first or second place car. So it's going to be a good year ahead, I'm sure.
Tell us a little more maybe about the young driver Aston Martin racing car with only Danish drivers coming from the GTM class.
Yes, they won the GTM class last year, and it's an all-Danish crew, and they come back now to fight in the Pro class. So, I'm sure they're going to do a very, very good job. Denmark seems to produce some very good racing drivers.
Thank you, David.
Vous avez, David, à passer le micro à Jacques Leconte. Bonjour, cher Jacques. Voilà, faites un petit pas en...
Delighted to have you back, Jack, in GTE AM with a Corvette. What is the actual stature of this team in your team? We're delighted to be back with the new C7. The previous one ran out of steam at the end of 2013, which we couldn't enter last year, so we were absent from GTM. So the absence of the yellow car was felt everywhere, and that gave the manufacturer whom we work a great deal of motivation, and We're delighted to starting again with the family with which we started in the ILMC, which was the forerunner of the WEC for the 4th year. Who is going to drive it, Jacques? There too. There we went with our challengers of the years before, Italian driver Giancarlo Roda, Paolo Ruberti, and we're still looking for our 3rd driver. You are the spokesman for Corvette. Doug Fee and all his guys can't wait to come to Le Mans. I went to Daytona to finalize our agreements, and I was delighted to see that the team was really in fighting form to attack the season starting in January, because our car will come to us after Sebring, because at the program is going to take a little time, as we have to have all the spare parts as they take part on different continents, and it's a race against the clock to be ready for April, to be at Silverstone in April, and we'll soon be in the USA to refine all that. The great comeback of Labre competition, and we're delighted. Are you pleased about Labre competition coming back with a cover? We're delighted to see a yellow car in the WEC. We missed it, Jacques. It's a great news. What that means for the future, we'll see with Corvette. Let's not hide it. We spoke about it 2 weeks ago in the USA, but this new car opens up many perspectives because it's only starting out its life. And hopefully the constructors will be back with 2 cars, 1 in each category. And we're not going to, I'd like to give you the GTE in LMS this year. This year, Dunlop will be the official tire supplier in GT. And I'd like to salute our friend, Jean-Philippe Bazelin. So Dunlop will be the exclusive tire supplier in GT. And we start the process. And we'll start with the entrance LMP2. We like Jacques Nickel and Gustavo Yakiman, first of all. And Hugues de Schonac from Eureka. And also Benoit Moran and Pierre Rag for Moran Racing Sard. And Philippe Sino from Alpine Signatech. Jota Sport, Sami Met on the Saminet. And TDS Racing, Tristan Gomedy, who was quickest in qualifying at Le Mans last year. And here's a great sample of the drivers in this category, LMP2. Come on, Jacques, take a step forward, take this microphone. Do you want to speak to Jacques? Because I know you like him very much. Me too. Jacques, you have several hats. You're the patron of Onro Conmur, boss of Oak Racing. And let's speak about the Ligier shot that you've entered. You've got 3 cars in the WEC and 5 Ligier at Le Mans. It's a great success for Onro Ligier. And I'm delighted about the number of Ligiers entered, and of course there's more. And it's great for Onro Conmur. I think that the share out between Ligier and Morgan is pretty exceptional. I'm delighted. I like to see Moran in the WEC. I'm very satisfied to see this with their 2 Morgans in the WEC. Your ambitions for Oakley and G Driver, 2nd in the championship. They were pipped at the last race in the championship last year. So what are your ambitions for G Drive Racing? so as to renew what we did in 2013, the P title in the WEC and a victory in the Le Mans 24 hours for Onroc Automotive in the Le Mans 24 hours. And the Green Ligier.
Welcome in the WEC. How is this challenge for you?
Thank you. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here amongst such great manufacturers and great drivers. I want to thank Jack and Philippe Dumas for such a great opportunity, and I'm just excited to get going in this year, this 2015. I'm very excited for the car. It's a great car, and all my teammates, I think, are really good, and we should be able to do a pretty good job, and I wish I make all of them proud.
On va passer également le micro un instant à Sam Mignet. Sam, congratulations again for the victory at Le Mans last year. What do you think of the entry list for the LMP2 class in this year, 2015?
Well, it looks fantastic. New cars, new teams, new drivers, new chassis. So I think it's going to be very competitive. Lots of cars, 20 cars on the grid. I think we've got our work cut out to keep our crown.
Merci beaucoup. Je reprends un petit instant le micro. Je demande à Benoît Morand, tenez, mettez-vous là en plein milieu. Je suis sûr que Gwenaël, mon cher Benoît.
Gwenaël has a lot of questions for you. Benoît, we remember you being the man of the year at Estoril last year. You've moved up a step by moving up to the World Endurance Championship and your association. Our association, and I would like to Hideki Noda, the star team manager, to come here. He's leaving tomorrow. This association helped us to go into the WEC. It's a big step for us, and I also like to thank Onroc. We have a new evolution of the Morgan, and they've done a great deal of work to help us to be competitive. You fought for the title last year, 2 Morgans. What are your ambitions for the World Endurance Championship? I think with the chassis and the cars that we have and the engine, we're going to go for victory. And we're delighted to have Pierre with us, and we've also Christian Klein, Oliver Webb, Koki Saga. And we're going to announce the 3rd driver on 39 very soon. And I think we drivers who can fight for the title. Benoît is delighted to have you. You're lucky enough to be in a very ambitious team. Yes, it's true. Last year, Benoît and I met up, and we had a great end to the season. And I think the World Championship is a huge challenge for the team, but I'm persuaded that the team is going to make huge effort, and I'm a very great teammate, the ELMS champion of last year, so I think we can do the job. And somebody also who symbolizes this generation of young drivers in endurance, and the Le Mans 24 hours, Tristan de Commandy. What hasn't changed is your ambition to win. Claire? We're starting off with the new Oreca 05. We're hoping for a lot, and I know TDS and Oreca have a victorious past together. Our relationship is great, and I hope it'll go very well. I'm convinced it will. We were a bit disappointed last year, and I hope we'll be able to rectify that year. And we missed victory in Le Mans last year by 28 seconds. And I think with Hugh, we're going to rectify that this year. And we are thinking about this new Oreca 05. Can you tell us a little about this car, which we haven't seen? Tristan, have you seen this new car? He has, but he hasn't got the right to speak about it. Tell us a bit more. I've only seen a part of it. The car is going to have its shakedown at the beginning of March. And I think it's part of the new generation of closed LMP2s, which the ACO wanted to bring in for the future. And it will comply with all the requests, needs of this category. And I would like to take my hat off to the ACO for the regulations that have made the success of LMP2 with 20 cars at Le Mans, with cars that are all very competitive from a technical point of view, so there'll be a great battle in the ELMS. This led to some fantastic races, and Oreca, as a constructor, is delighted to take part in all these championships. And bravo, ACO, for your regulation. And Philippe Sino, come forward. Philippe Sino with the team which won the European Le Mans Series last year. And you're taking a step up to the World Endurance Championship. I would like to thank Alpine to have accepted this new challenge. It's a new step and a great step that awaits us as we won the LMS title. We wanted to spread our wings a bit more, so we're very motivated to carry these blue colors throughout the world with a 100% French team. Could our three drivers stand up, please?
Nelson
Pichot, Untitled Chapter, and a guy from Le Mans, and Vincent Capillet, who has joined your team. Is it a dream team, Philip? We'll see that at the end of the year, but I'm convinced of it, and that's the choice which motivated right from the beginning. We immediately saw what he did in the LMS last year, so we asked him to join our team. And before we talk about the forecast, because we're going to welcome the people in the blue ribbon category, Benoît Trelouillet and Dr. Ulrich.
Messieurs, Benoît Trelouillet et Dr.
For Toyota, the World Championship, Pascal Vassel and Sebastian Buenemi. From Porsche, Andres Seidel and Neil Jani from Porsche. And ladies and gentlemen, Nissan will be back in 2015, and Darren Cox and Olivier Pla from Nissan making their comeback in 2015. We have a fantastic group of people here. Dr. Ulrich, I would like to tell us what you think about has just been presented. The quality of the field is superb. It's huge. If I've seen the development of the WEC, it's something we should be very proud of, because all who worked to create this championship, they did a huge job, a very intense job, and I think today we see the results. And the result for all that we've done together, the ACO, the FIA, and the manufacturers, and all the teams that make this championship work. And it's a great chip that you don't maybe see today, but I'd like to thank the whole team. How are you preparing for the 2015 season? Audi scored his 13th victory last, but Audi lost the World Endurance. But that's motorsport. We were delighted to be away, but there's never any guarantee. Last year we saw We were in a position where we weren't really competitive for part of the season, but in the last race, we came back for the last race with all Tom's motivation, who really drove us. We couldn't finish a season without him being on the podium, and that drove us. But Le Mans was one of the toughest of all the years we've won, and in the end, we came first, and thanks to the team, which did an incredible job, and at the end, it was the motivation for next year. And I see that our third car has been accepted. Thank you. We'll be back with numbers 7, 8, and we've always won with these numerals. Benoit, 3-time winner of the Le Mans 24. You won last year. It's going to be a bit more difficult this year when we see your new rivals from Nissan. So how do you see the season up against Porsche, Nissan? I had a very calm winter with the noise of engines, and I can't wait to get back to the circuits and to defend our victory at Le Mans and also fight in the WEC tournament. And we're delighted to see Nissan bring a beautiful car into the championship. The number, the diversity, the quality gives us an incredible choice. And drivers are going to arrive in the outer team with Tom Christian. We know you're a great team, eh? I don't know whether I am enough, but I do my best to do my job well. In the heart of the paddock, there's a good ambience between all the drivers and all the teams, and that's the strength of endurance, and that you see in the TV and in the media, and that attracts the spectators, and we have to beef this up to reinforce this. And we'd like the world champions to join us. Hello, Pascal Vasselon and Mr. Yushaki Kinoshita to be at this presentation. I'd like to go back to 2014 for a moment and the joy that this world title gave to the whole Toyota world. It was a sort of liberation for our team. I imagine in 2000 we had a very difficult time. We fell from 850 to 190 people, and we began this program at the end of 2010, beginning of 2011. And after 3 years, we had this liberation to show that we were capable of winning the World Championship. It was a great moment for the team. So 2015 has started. Double ejector, keep number 1, and also give Toyota the opportunity to win the Le Mans 24 hours. Our objectives are easy to see. The World Championship, of course, but we want to fill a void that Toyota has never won the Le Mans 24 hours, and we want to do that this year. The three wins gave you the 2014 World Championship. We say it, Pascal, but first of all, you had a driver lineup change last year, and this year you have a new lineup this year. Yes, we have modified our driver line, but the key word is homogeneity. A team has to be homogeneous in order to work well. We had a few tests last year with Kazuki, who was that one, who had a visa problem the other time. We were able to test a combination of drivers in car 2. This team was very homogeneous, so we've continued with it. And in car number 1, Kazuki will join the 2 world champions, Anthony and Sebastian. So you're going to share your seat this season with Kazuki Nakajima. You are the 2014 world champion. So your objective is the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2015. Of course, it's our main aim to win the Le Mans 24 Hours. Winning the championship was fantastic, and we're going to continue in the same way with Kazuki, who set pole last year. We have already begun testing together. We were at Japan last year, and we spent a lot of time together. Anthony and I are very happy to share the car with Kazuki. Homogeneity is very important. The teamwork, cohesion. How do you work to have this cohesion, to have the cohesion between the car with Anthony and I get on together? We've been together for quite a while. We know Kazuki pretty well. We're happy he'll be with us because every time we get the car, and Kazuki is in the other one, is difficult. So we're happy he's with us. It's not going to be any problem.
Venez avec moi.
Andreas, come here. Welcome.
Be different this year with 3 cars on the starting grid at Le Mans.
Yeah, for sure it's a huge challenge for us to get this third car ready. The crew we need for it, the mechanics, the engineers and so on, but it shows as well that there's a great commitment from Porsche side, from our management, to be allowed to operate this third car. Regarding expectations for this year, we are going into our 2nd year now. Our bosses, Fritz Enzinger and Wolfgang Hatz, clearly have lifted the targets for us for this year. We definitely want to go for more podium finishes this year, and we want to be more often in a position to challenge for race wins as well. I mean, Alex Hitzinger and his technical team is working flat out right now to achieve this. The same on the operational side with the race team, and we're really looking forward now to the prologue and also to the first race to see where we are in terms of performance.
Yes,
Andreas, we've seen on the board the name of one of your 3 drivers for the third car. We knew it was Nico Hülkenberg, but I guess you have some announcement to do today about the full lineup of this third car.
Yeah, yes, that's true. I mean, we decided quite early already last year that we keep the lineup for the 2 main cars the same. These guys showed great performance last year, so there was not really a reason to change anything. Then we tested now at the previous tests several of the Porsche GTE works drivers, and we are really happy to announce today that we decided to go for Earl Bamber and Nick Tandy to join Nico Hülkenberg for the third car in Spa and in Le Mans. With what we have seen so far from these guys at testing was quite impressive. So we think from the first year onwards that we will also have a third strong and competitive car ready on the grid.
So Earl Bamber and Nick Tandy joining Nico Hülkenberg for the third car in Le Mans.
Exactly.
And in Spa, I guess.
In Spa as well, yes, correct.
Thank you, Andreas. We'll now go on with you, Neil. Yanni, winner of the last race of the season. We remember that in Sao Paulo last year. I guess you want to surf this wave, this winning wave, next year?
Yeah, definitely. I think Sebastian, they won the last race in 2:13 and they had a good run in 2:14. Maybe we can do the same. That's our target, definitely.
We've seen that you've been doing some testing in the winter with, let's say, a 2nd generation of the 919 hybrid car. What can you tell us about this car? What Andreas allows you to tell us?
Well, we had the first test in Abu Dhabi in January, and well, if you compare it to 213, it was a lot smoother. You know, it's our 2nd year, and we actually did a good amount of laps, which we didn't do in 213. So I think we are good steps ahead. We have we have improved the car, but you know, everyone has done that. So we'll really see, I think, in Silverstone.
Merci beaucoup, Neil, Jenny. Mesdames et messieurs, 2015, Nissan is back.
Nissan est de retour. Olivier Plat, Darren Cox, venez nous joindre.
expect from you?
I guess the unexpected.
Good. For the bad boys.
Yes, indeed. But we also got some good boys here as well. It's great to have Olivier here. It's been mentioned about the ladder of endurance racing. Obviously, we've announced that we're the engine partner for LMP3. Today, announcing Olivier and also Harry Tinknell. We've got two of the best LMP2 drivers in the field that we've promoted to LMP1. So I think it's important that we support the whole of the racing ladder. But also, in the great tradition of Japanese drivers coming over and racing at Le Mans, we've got the current Super GT champion, as you'd see, in our third car at Le Mans, Matsuda-san, who we're very pleased to have coming on board, doing Super GT and racing at Le Mans. So we think we've got a great driver lineup that we're going to announce over the next few weeks to add to the 4 drivers we've already announced.
Marc Genet, other names?
Marc Genet is another one, that's 4. So I think we've got 5 more to go.
They are? Who are they?
You'll find out.
What about the technical choices now?
It's different, isn't it? And I think what's really interesting, as we said before, all 4 cars are very different. They've all got different internal combustion engines and apparently all different Heures systems. So the regulations clearly have been written very differently. We've also decided to put our engine in the wrong place. So we'll see how that goes. But it shows the regulations and how they work, that you can be very innovative. And Nissan wouldn't be in this championship if there wasn't innovation there, and that's very important. But looking at the grid, we've got, I think, at Le Mans, somewhere in the region of a third of the grid. We've got Matsumura-san, our COO of Nismo here. Him and his team are building up not only LMP1 cars and engines, but also LMP2, and now 9 LMP3 engines. So these guys are very busy at the moment.
Absolument, une très belle présence de Nissan aux 24 heures du Mans. Je vous invite à passer le micro à Olivier Pla, et je vais demander également à 2 pilotes qui sont là, effectivement, Harry Tinknell et à Tsugio Matsuda, de bien vouloir se lever. Voilà, la salle va vous saluer, messieurs. Marc Genet qu'on saluera. On est obligé d'attendre un petit peu.
We have to wait to see who are the others. We can't wait to hear your opinion. We've heard a lot about this car. You've taken part in this development. You can't tell us everything, but are 1 or 2 things you can tell us about it? What about this front-wheel drive car? How did you feel? Sure. It's a completely different design to the other manufacturers. There's a lot of things to be done, a lot of things we have to understand about the car, but it's very interesting. For me, after a few years at LMP2, to join Nissan is an exceptional opportunity, and I'm very happy to be involved in this work. It's a reward for you for what you did in LMP2. You almost drove for another manufacturer whose program stopped a few years ago. So you're happy to be with Nissan with 3 cars to battle with the other manufacturers. It's better late than never. The opportunity is a great one for me. It won't be easy, we know that. We're going to be fighting against 3 very strong manufacturers. That's what the challenge is, very interesting. And we hope that we're going to be able to take the fight to them as soon as possible. And it's great to see you with a major manufacturer. President, would you like to? Fion. We're delighted about Nissan's return and also the arrival of the 9-time winner of the Le Mans 24 Hours, Tom Christensen, the Grand Marshal of the 2015 race.
You are the Grand Marshal of this next Le Mans race.
Yeah, it's a privilege. I look very much forward to do that, and what an exciting grid and year and future in general. So it's absolutely a privilege, and I was very, very happy and glad when the president asked me about that.
What do you think of the presentation of today? I mean the different entry lists and of course the entry list for the next Le Mans race.
In short, it's incredibly interesting. It's certainly what attracted me going into sports car racing, and it just keeps evolving. I mean, the World Championship is looking stronger than ever. A more different variety of the commitment, and welcome to Nissan. I think it looks for a splendid season. I look very much forward to watch it.
Merci beaucoup. Tom Christensen, grande marshal de ce 24 heures du Mans 2015 et naturellement le nucle vainqueur de cette course.
And the 9-time winner of the President Few. So would you like to sum up, President? I would like to ask here Mr. Singer Kirishito-san to come up and join us on the stage. It's a great season in perspective. An American series which has got off to a great start, the European Le Mans and the arrival of the Asian Le Mans. Concerning the 3 races, there were 3 invitations, P2, GT1, G3, and of course the grid for the Le Mans 24 hours. We can expect a magnificent season. We can only be delighted with this ascending spiral in which Le Mans Endurance finds itself at the moment. I'd like to thank all the partners, the manufacturers, the teams, Sir Lindsay Owen-Jones, who helps us all year, and of course the journalists who follow us, and all the spectator and the TV viewers who will be able to follow us on first screen, second screen, on the internet and in the internet. And we can't wait to be at the prologue at the end of March. There will be 3 very important dates. The prologue at the WSO on the 11-12 Silverstone, the opening of the WEC and the ELMC, and the 13th, 14th June, the Le Mans 24 hours. We would like to thank you all the journalists that are going to follow this championship, those who have followed us live, and also we'd like to thank our partner Michelin for that, and to enable us to share these very exciting moments with you, and of course all the volunteers on the circuit. And this room has helped us to see 3 beautiful cars. We'd like to thank Porsche, Audi, and Toyota. And we have the winner of the 2014 Le Mans 24 hours. We'd like to have the 2015 Endurance. The best is to come, and the best, we're going to share it with you. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.
Yes, CMS stays off, he drives